Right now at noon, if you're a Missouri resident with lead pipes in your home, we'll tell you how you can get them replaced.
And temperatures climbing upward as we head into the afternoon with the sunny skies across the region. It's hot, but seasonably so. Look at that forecast coming up.
Plus, aspiring art students in Carthage now have an after-school program.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
This is KOAM News at noon. I'm Elise Snowy. Breaking news at the top of the hour today as one suspect is in custody following an incident at Appalachia High School in Winder, Georgia. According to the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, police responded to an active shooting at Appalachia High School located just outside of Atlanta. The sheriff confirms one suspect is in custody and there are several victims, although their conditions have not been released. According to a source at a local hospital, they are receiving patients with gunshot wounds. Video from outside the school showed ambulances and a large police presence. At least one medical helicopter airlifted a patient out. An FBI spokesperson said agents responded to the school to assist local law enforcement. The school was reportedly initially placed on hard lockdown. The Barrow County school system said students were cleared to leave the building and parents were notified to pick them up. This is an ongoing story and we will have updates as more information becomes available. Now let's check in with Chris Warner for a look at the forecast.
Yeah, we've got sunny skies across the area. You can see that from the MoDOT camera at 20th and Rangeline in Joplin. Traffic moving right along, and that's again always a good sign. The only time they should be stopped is when the light is red, and that's again, good sign. Downtown Pittsburgh, our camera there. Again, traffic also moving along nicely. Still well off to our south. You can see some of those clouds. So they're reaching as far north as extreme southern McDonald County and into parts of Delaware County, but that's really it. Yesterday, nice below normal day, started at 61, made it to 82. And as we look at temperatures now, we're already about at that point in locations. 81 in Joplin, 80 in Pittsburgh, and around the region, that's where we are. We've got some upper 70s, and we've got some low 80s out there on our way to those upper 80 highs. So heading through the rest of the evening, those skies will remain clear. Winds will begin to shift gradually out of the south. Relatively pleasant temperatures, too, falling back to about 70 by 11 o'clock tonight. It's going to be a little hotter tomorrow, then it's going to cool back down again. We'll have details on that in the full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, Missouri American Water is working to replace lead pipes across the state, including in Joplin homes. This comes as the EPA requires all U.S. water companies to inventory their local service lines. KOAM's Samantha Walker has more on what Missouri residents need to know about the pipe replacement program.
According to a representative with Missouri American Water, Joplin's water is perfectly safe because of how it's treated. But that isn't stopping the company from their efforts to replace lead in galvanized water lines. Joplin residents may have recently received a letter asking them to identify the material of their pipes.
Essentially, we don't know what's out in Joplin in terms of how many lead service lines there are. So what we're doing is asking people, especially if they have homes that were built before 1970, to go to our website to self-report, or they can schedule a time for a contractor to come out and check. We just need to build our inventory.
Because the company doesn't own the pipes within residents' homes, they don't have a complete record of who has lead or galvanized pipes and who doesn't. For customers to identify they have these pipes, Missouri American Water is offering to replace the water lines, including the customer-owned portion, for free.
This is something we just want our customers to know that we're doing at no direct cost to them. Lead and galvanized pipe, they stopped using them for a reason, and it is due to, possible hazards with that lead, leaching into lines, especially in areas where they don't treat the water such as we do. It's nationwide, and it's just better to replace that line. Also, if it is a lead or galvanized line, it's probably quite old and subject to breaking.
She says the company is trying to get an inventory of how many homes need a lead pipe replacement by October. This would allow them to know how much work needs to be done and how they can help those homes in a timely fashion.
It's something that in the long run could really benefit them. It gives us a chance to, I think, maybe give some customers additional peace of mind, maybe add, resale value to their home if the service line has been replaced and updated. And it's just something that we take great pride in.
Reporting in Joplin, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
If you're not sure if you have lead pipes but believe it's a possibility, you can request for a contractor to look through the Missouri American Water website. Well, you can stay cool today while giving a boost to student athletes. Smoothie King in Joplin is hosting a fundraiser for the Joplin High School Girls' Fall Sports Program. From 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. today, 50% of all proceeds will go to support the girls' softball, volleyball, tennis, and track teams.
And like equality is like something that's been implemented for years, and the recognition of women's sports, it is on the rise as well, and so we just thought we'd be one of the forefront on that.
The goal for today's fundraiser is a couple of $1,000s. Well, a local homeschool co-op group in Joplin had the opportunity to learn about STEM and bees today at Pennington Station. There were 4 classes that students could take part in, and those classes included film production, coding, Lego building, and beekeeping by local beekeeper Jared Malcolm. Well, Art Central Carthage kicks off a new after-school program for aspiring artists. The Art After School program provides a once-a-week opportunity for young artists to develop diverse artistic interests, hone existing skills, and be a part of a team, all while exploring various art forms. One educator says the class can also provide a great form of therapy.
Well, we just don't do after school for kids. I mean, we do homeschool. We do, we have a homeschool elementary in the morning, a homeschool junior high, high school in the afternoons. And then we also we're getting ready to start our free art. So anybody retired or somebody who just self-employed needs a break from their house for a moment, want to come here and do a little bit of art. It's kind of bring your own supplies, and there'll be an instructor here to guide.
The class will be offered every Tuesday after school at a cost of $10 per student. Parents are encouraged to register their kids early since space is limited. Well, coming up, a Fort Scott business receives a grant to help local farmers bring their goods to local tables. And later, we're making onion strings in the Mr. Food test kitchen. Well, MoDOT wants to warn some drivers in Joplin about some traffic delays this week. Today and tomorrow, Main Street and 34th Street can expect some delays due to lane reductions. Drivers should plan for alternative routes in between the hours of 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. on both evenings while crews install a section of storm pipe. The Miami City Council last night discussed the future of Police Chief Thomas Hightower Anderson. During last night's City Council meeting, officials discussed the chief's position during an executive closed session. As it was not open to the public, the details of the session are not known. We reached out to the city's communication manager for comment, but have not yet heard back. In July, the chief was placed on paid administrative leave following allegations of misconduct. The city has not provided details about the allegations, simply saying they were personnel matters. However, they have hired an independent investigator to look into the matter. Well, Fort Scott Commercial Kitchen received a grant to stock their kitchen with equipment that farmers can use to turn their produce into other products. This will bring more nutritious foods to the Bourbon County community. KOAM's Melissa Alexis has more.
Equipment such as your charbroilers, your gas range, your ovens, your refrigerators.
The Kitchen Collective and Collaborative in Fort Scott was one of the recipients of a grant that will be put towards filling their commercial kitchen with necessities. Farmers will be able to rent their licensed commercial kitchen to create products out of their produce.
For example, take those tomatoes, come into our licensed facility, make tomato marinara sauce or salsa that has a longer shelf life.
Rachel French, a co-owner, says this will be especially helpful to the community because Bourbon County has a scarcity of locally grown foods.
Tiers, and so each kitchen has their own set of cookware, so you don't have to bring anything. Anytime you can get food that is grown in your area in season, it has so many different health benefits.
In our food here in America, it's packed full of preservatives, and we are hoping to sell more of like a stripped down homemade product.
This grant will allow the kitchen to provide the community with healthier food options. Bailey Lyons says as a mom, she likes knowing what's in the food that her kids are consuming. and this will make it easier for busy parents like herself to do so.
Could grab something out of the grab-and-go case that was homemade with local fresh ingredients rather than hitting the drive-thru at a fast food restaurant.
Along with bringing more healthy food options to Bourbon County, this will benefit farmers by giving them access to the equipment they need to turn their produce into other products that they can sell. Reporting in Fort Scott, Melissa Alexis, KOAM News.
The kitchen is the first of its kind in southeast Kansas and will officially be open by the end of September. Well, still to come on KOAM News at noon, Mr. Fu.
You know, sometimes it's the simplest things that make an ordinary dish extraordinary. And today we're doing just that.
And we have got a temperature roller coaster ride ahead of us. We'll have the details on that when the KOAM News at noon returns. Welcome back to the KOAM News at noon. So we've got that sunshine out there. Temperatures warming up. We're still looking at highs. Like I said, it's going to be hotter than it has been the last couple of days, but it's going to be seasonably hot, meaning our temperatures will be about normal out there. So here's the future track heading into the rest of this afternoon. Clear skies, eventually reaching our peak highs into the upper 80s for most of us out there. And again, that's about where our average should be for this time of year. Overnight tonight, clear skies until we get to early tomorrow morning. We've got clouds rolling in from the south and east. And we'll have an opportunity for an isolated pop-up shower or thunderstorm in the morning, as you can see, mainly south of I-44. And then we go into the afternoon, and we could see another round of isolated to widely scattered showers and storms by late afternoon into the early evening hours on our Thursday. But if you noted, initially activity was rolling northwest. And by the afternoon and evening, it starts shifting and moving to the southeast. And then look at the wind arrows. By Friday, 5 a.m., we have a little boundary coming through. Now, it's not going to do much in terms of rain, which stinks because we need rain. We've got drought conditions continuing to develop across the area. We need rain. But it is going to cool us back down. So take a look at Friday, 48 hours from now. We're in the low to mid 70s. Right now, we're in the low 80s. We're going to be in the low to mid 70s by Friday afternoon. Could still see another isolated shower or storm. And then after that, it's actually going to start to get chilly as we head overnight Friday into Saturday. Joplin right now, sunny skies, 81. And here's the interesting thing. Even though the wind is calm, the air is so dry, it feels like 80 out there. Over to Pittsburgh, of course, it is sunny. Those clouds, again, still well off to our south. 80 in Pittsburgh, south breeze at about 5 miles an hour. And across the region, those temperatures, once again, most of us sitting into the low 80s. We still have some upper 70s out there as well. So for the rest of today, the majority of us looking to be about normal, right around the upper 80s out there with plentiful sunshine. Heading into the overnight hours, we are looking at the low to mid 60s, south breeze at around 5 to 10 miles an hour. So again, not a bad night at all. For our Thursday, we're going to be a little hotter, a little closer to 90. So we're going to be a little above normal, but not significantly so. And we could see an isolated storm or two. Winds otherwise expected to remain relatively calm across the area on our Thursday. So we're talking again upper 80s tomorrow. Then that boundary comes through. Now, initially, it doesn't really have much of an effect overnight, but as you saw into the afternoon, we start to cool back a little bit. Low mid 80s. Take a look at these lows heading into the weekend. Low to mid 50s. Friday night, Saturday night, upper 50s by Sunday night. Now remember, we have a 15 county area. This is an average across the region. We're looking about 80 on Saturday, 81 on Sunday, but some of you may not make it much warmer than the mid to upper 70s. So we're talking 10, 12 degrees cooler than normal as we head into the weekend. But you're going to want to enjoy it because what's hiding behind me? Well, something that we don't want to see, but it's been showing up and it's been relatively consistent. We're going to heat up next week. A few isolated showers or storms Monday and Thursday next week. But the main story out there is temperatures climbing into the low and eventually mid 90s toward the end of next week. So we're going to go from 10 or 12 degrees below normal to upwards of 8 to 10 degrees above normal as we head toward the end of next week. So again, enjoy these temperatures, enjoy this weekend, looking to be great. And then it's going to start to get hot again.
Yeah, it's still summer.
It is
still
until
summer.
September 22nd.
Yep.
And that's just an unfriendly reminder.
All righty. Well, stick around. We're making onion strings in the Mr. Food Test kitchen. We'll be right back. Howard is sharing an easy 5-ingredient recipe for restaurant-style onion strings in the Mr. Food Test kitchen.
You know, sometimes it's the simplest things that make an ordinary dish extraordinary. And today, I'm going to show you how to do just that. We're turning everyday basic onions into a restaurant where they go along that's versatile enough to team with just about anything. Let me show you. First, we'll slice a large onion almost paper thin. You can use a really sharp knife or, even easier, a mandolin. It's not only faster and more precise, but it cuts down on the gases that make us cry. Now, we separate these into rings and toss them with some flour that we season with a little salt and pepper. After these are coated, we'll cook them in some hot oil. You want to be careful that the oil doesn't splatter and burn you. In just minutes, these will crisp up and turn golden brown. Then we take them out so they can drain. We sprinkle them with some salt, and they're done. Of course, we could snack on them as is, but we love them even more when we team them up with anything from a juicy steak to our favorite veggies. Simply adding these to whatever you're serving definitely takes it up a notch. Look, the recipe for onion strings is online now, so you can fancy up your next meal with something that costs so little, yet adds so much. I'm Howard with Kelly in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a simple yet fancy way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
You can find this recipe along with a lot more good food from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. Just go to our website. That's KOAMnewsnow.com. Now here's a look at the 4-state market prices.
All right, again, a little warmer today, but seasonably so. Upper 80s, pushing a little closer to 90s, so a little above average tomorrow. A few isolated showers and storms tomorrow and Friday. A boundary comes through Friday, cools us back. Low to mid 50s Friday night, Saturday night, upper 50s Sunday night, upper 70s, low 80s Saturday and Sunday, and then we start to heat up again. We go back into low to mid 90s. We're going to go back from roughly 10 degrees cooler than average this weekend to 10 degrees warmer than average by next weekend. So that's why that temperature roller coaster, it's just not letting us off.
The lows in the 50s. Doesn't that sound refreshing?
Oh, it does, doesn't it? Well, Del, what do you have for us tonight?
Well, a lot's coming up at 5. For starters, a number of states across the country are banning students from using their cell phones at schools. We're going to take a look at the benefits of the growing no phone movement. Plus, we'll meet a Missouri woman raising overdose prevention awareness through cycling after losing her brother to fentanyl poisoning. And a teen in Joplin is hosting his own free public art club for young local artists. We're going to visit with him as he prepares for the start of this year's classes. Hope you'll join us for those stories. A lot more, of course. It's coming up today. KOAM News at 5.
Absolutely. Thank you, Del. And that's the news for now. Thank you for joining us on KOAM News at noon. Have a great rest of your day.